Good evening, happy Wednesday, and welcome to Live in Conversation. I am your host, Daphnée Antoine, with my lovely co-host, Daphnée Camilien. Hello, Daphnée, how's it going?
Good evening.
Awesome. You want to introduce yourself before you get started? Obviously, I said your name, but then.
Yeah, sure. I'm Daphnée Camilien from Camillion Law.
Awesome. Well, happy Wednesday, everyone. We are live in conversation where we come every Wednesday to share information, resources, kind of ways and tips that we all can thrive. Not only those of us who are part of the, I would say, immigration community, but people in general. So, with that being said, today we have a great segment where we are going to be talking about women, motherhood, and mental health, and how some of resources that those of us who are moms or within a parent of a child can take advantage of, so we can have some peace of mind. Okay. So before we get started, let's all do a disclosure. Uh,
Sure.
have Attorney
Um,
Camillian do that.
yeah. So I'm an attorney. So anything. First of all, this our podcast is for information purposes only and for entertainment. I'm an attorney. Anything I say does not create an attorney-client relationship with anyone listening to this, and or anyone commenting. And René is a financial entrepreneur. Anything she says doesn't create any type of fiduciary duty between her and the other person. So if you guys want to reach out to us individually, you can. But just to recap, this is for information purposes only and for entertainment.
Awesome. Okay, so let's get started. Hello to those of you watching. So let's do it. So you want to go to your segment, or are we gonna do a topic of the day?
It's up to you.
Okay, let's do your segment.
Okay.
I'm gonna put you in solo right now, and
Our,
you are on. Well, you got about to say something?
no, go ahead. Our
God.
overall theme is mental health this evening, and so women in mental health and just mental health matters. So, and I typically talk about immigration, so I'm going to put my immigration spin on it, as well as talk about some new immigration news that just came out. So immigration, just talking about mental health, mothers. A lot of people may not think about this, but most immigrants, I saw a statistic that said 51% of the immigrant population are women. And a lot of those women have left their country, their home country, and come to the United States for better opportunities, etc. And that for better opportunities and for any of those for pretty much better opportunities. So that being said, they leave children behind in their home country, and what are the effects of that? So before I go a little deeper into that, Daphnée, René, and I are not health professionals. So this is just our opinion and just, things that we've read and researched and just giving back to you guys. So women oftentimes will leave kids in their home country and come here. And so, you have a double trauma when that happens. You have the child who's used to his or her mom with them every day, being separated from them. And then you have the mom who comes here, who's being traumatized as well because they're not there for their child. Ultimately, these parents make the ultimate sacrifice because they believe that they're giving their children a better future. But it does have oftentimes long-term psychological effects that I think oftentimes is not addressed in the immigrant community. I think that a lot of times, if you're an immigrant or I'm the daughter of immigrants. And I've heard this in a lot of cultures. This is something that's in a lot of cultures. And for me, I've heard the story of the mom who left the kids and came to the US or North America. And, like I said, for the better life. And then they bring the kids here later. And then, once they've established themselves, once they're able to get on their feet, and the resentment and the adjustments, and all that entails. So it's most stories I've heard has never been smooth, but I think people oftentimes will just go with it but there's trauma there. There's always help, and I know René was going to probably talk about resources later. But there's something that should be talked about, and definitely something that should be addressed, because if you are separated from your parent, especially who was a caretaker for a long period of time, and then it's just not addressed, you could imagine the long-term effects of what it could cause. So that's something that's very common in most, I guess I would say, immigrant households, or they know. I don't think you can probably talk to an immigrant who doesn't know someone who's done that. It's so common. So the other thing about mental health issues, there are mental health issues for, definitely for different types of immigrants, but for those who are undocumented, who don't have status in the U.S., they have their own special mental health issues. There's, fear of their status being found out. Think about the kid who comes here when they're young, no choice of their own. They're brought here, and then they're integrated into the school systems. Maybe fear of being found out, fear of being deported, or even the kid, you see, if you have an example, is the kid, let's say, who comes here at 5 years old, learns, goes to school here, is educated in the U.S., and is trying to navigate his or her life, and then living, with that fear of, being deported. When you've come here young, you live your life here, especially like someone who's like 5 years old, they may not have a memory of where they were born. So just that, living in that constant fear. Then those who were eligible for DACA, who got DACA, this is for undocumented people, especially my young people, who got DACA, which is the Deferred Action for Earlyhood Child Education, or I forgot. Hold on, I got to think about it, what DACA stands for. But my DACA kids, those kids, they are grown people, young adults, they have a special fear because DACA kept getting, rescinded, reinstated. So it was so uncertain. So you could have DACA and you're not sure if it's going to last. You've exposed yourself, right? You've exposed yourself. So what happens to those people, right? So that's a certain fear that people have. The other thing is that I was going to segue. So there's different types of trauma and different types of that immigrants may suffer. You also have immigrants who come here, who maybe come here on a fiance visa, who come here, get here, they get married, they marry their spouse, and they're in an abusive relationship. That's a different type of trauma, right? So those people are oftentimes, and then or their spouse, is going to file a green card and doesn't do it, right? So there's another form of abuse because, and they're only relying on this one person. They don't know anybody in the country. They have no other ties with this person to the country. So that's another type of trauma. Oftentimes, those people are encouraged to seek psychological help. And, but some of these other people in these other categories, I don't think that's something that's really talked about as much as to seek some type of help, resources out there to just look into and see, because that is a trauma. I mean, imagine, you're born and raised in one country and you go to another country and just trying to navigate that country, and then, or being reliant on the people from that country, and it doesn't work out. And so then you're there and you're not sure how to navigate that. You're scared, you don't know what to do with your next step. So there's a lot that goes into it. So there is a lot of immigrant trauma in that oftentimes we don't talk about. So that's my take on mental health and immigrants. I also wanted to give you some immigration news of the day, and that news has to do with the Biden administration just came out with a rule saying that new immigrants who are trying to come into the United States have to be have to be vaccinated, COVID-19 vaccine, right? They have to already be vaccinated. So that's for the people who are abroad, who are going to immigrate to the United States, who have to take anybody who has to take some type of medical examination. It's usually for people who are getting their green card, something of that nature. And before they can come to the U.S., they go to take a medical medical test before they come to the U.S. Those people have to be vaccinated before they come into the U.S. And that goes into effect October 1st, 2021. So that means that there is exceptions, like if you're a child, if vaccinations are not available in the U.S. for children, so they're exempt from that. If you are, however, and if you want to waive, if you don't want to be vaccinated beforehand because you have religious beliefs or some other belief, or I think it's medical or religious, they're going to give people the option to not get vaccinated. However, there's a caveat. What they're doing for people is saying that if you say you're not going to get vaccinated for COVID-19 because of some religious, I'm just going to say religion, right? Your personal religious beliefs, you can't pick and choose. You have to say that you're not going to be vaccinated for anything. It can't just be the COVID-19 vaccine. And what that does is that kind of puts you in a separate category. And then the U.S. would then evaluate your application and see if they will allow you to get in. This is kind of forcing everyone who's coming in with who's pretty much trying to get a green card or coming in with some type of visa where they have to have a medical evaluation before they come to the United States. It's pretty much forcing them to be vaccinated. The other thing in here the other thing that could or could not be worrisome is that what about those countries that don't necessarily have vaccines readily available like they are in the United States, right? There's going to be some type of blanket waiver for those countries, but the CDC has to designate the country as some type of blanket waiver country so that this whole rule doesn't it's not applicable, being able to apply to those type of people. So we'll see what happens, because that was my concern when I said this. I was like, not every country has the resources or even has enough of the vaccines to give to the people who even want to get it. So what are they going to do about that? But if they can give those countries a blanket waiver, then this may be very interesting. And then I wonder, since they're doing this is for people who are overseas, right? This hasn't trickled down to the U.S., but will this change with people who are in the U.S., who are immigrants, who are trying to get some type of immigration status? Will they add this to an application or make this a requirement? I don't know. So we have to stay tuned and see. Back to you, Daphnée, René.
Hello. Thank you for all this amazing information. Wow. That's a lot of great information. Thank you for sharing that. For those of you who are live with us, this is Live in Conversation. My name is Daphnée Antoine. We are live every Wednesday with Antoine Camilien. Daphnée Camilien, where we share resources, information, news with you all. And then, so today's topic is motherhood and mental health. And Antoine Camilien was just talking about how especially for those of us who may be in, I guess, the immigration community or
Mm-hmm.
immigrant community, and how they are impacted, in different ways. And then so we have to acknowledge those struggles. And we had a previous segment where we talk about I am my brother keeper. So today we are talking about I am my sister's keeper. So kind of like how we can help our neighbors, help our friends, help our families, especially with children, and who may have different level of fears that we may not necessarily know of, but then we can be kind, and show love, and be knowledgeable about people's struggles, so we can be more empathetic and sympathetic to that. So that was me giving a summary in case you're just joining us. Did
Yeah.
I do a good job with that, Antoine Camillion?
No, yeah, you did a great job.
You did a great job. Well, so thank you for the news about COVID-19 being the vaccine being required. So I did not know that. So
Mm-hmm.
I would love, for those of you who are watching, I would love to know your opinions. Do you think that people who are traveling or immigrating here or even visiting here, should they be required to take the COVID-19 vaccine? I am not starting a debate. I'm not saying take the vaccine or don't take the vaccine. I just want to hear your opinion.
Right.
Okay? So let us know in the comments. I see you all are watching, so thank you for that. Share this, because right now I'm going to be sharing some resources uh, that we as mom can use to help us in this season of motherhood, not only of motherhood, but motherhood in the middle of COVID-19. So let me go ahead. All right. How you all doing? Okay, so my name is Daphnée Antoine. Like I said, we are live every Wednesday to share resources and notes to help us thrive. So today we are talking about motherhood and mental health. Again, we are not a health professional. This is just our opinion based on our research, as well as based on our experiences as being mothers during this COVID-19 season. So that being said, I have two kids. I have a stay-at-home mom. Both of my kids are under 10. One is under 5. And then so some of you who are watching may have children as well, and maybe you are feeling overwhelmed because you know many of our children had to stay home during COVID. So we were to juggle not only being moms, being wives, those of us who are wives, being a homemaker, even an employee. So it has been a lot for moms. And then so history tells us, and some of us personal experience tells us, that a lot of time, household chores, is on the mother. Okay, we have to take care of that, or most of us have to take care of that. We have to take care of the children, we have to take care of the house, and it can be a lot. So let me go ahead and share some resources in ways that maybe we can better manage things. So that being said, like me personally, I'm able to juggle life, to juggle my life and my children and all my responsibilities, because I mean this is not a faith, I would say, podcast, but then I'm unapologetically always tell you guys I depend on God. And then so I start of the day, now, I don't want to say every day, but most of the day, with meditating, reading my Bible, kind of have a minute to myself. And so, whatever that looks like to you, I highly encourage you, when you wake up in the morning before your children, and you take that like 10 or 15 minutes to yourself. I mean, nobody woke up yet. You try to wake up a little early before everybody so you can have that time of peace of mind. It is so helpful. So that's what I will encourage. Start the day by, have a little. And then when I say meditating, it's not like everybody that looks different for everybody. So I'm not saying just sit down and do who says. I just sit and read my Bible, write down some verses. That's all I do. Or maybe you're thinking about, what you're gonna do for the day. Maybe you're writing down what you're gonna think about the day. Or maybe you like to journal. But just take a little minute sometime in the morning to yourself so you can get your mind clear. Maybe you want to exercise, okay? So that's, and then plus exercise is good anyway, so why not? If that's your thing, do that. Okay. So that's my first tip. And then also, I highly encourage, when I say journaling, it's helpful, but it's also maybe can be a time for you to plan your day, because you can better manage what you plan. So if you write down some of the most do for your day, that helps you. So maybe take some time, manage your day, whether that be on your phone or maybe a little notebook, pen and paper that you have. Do that, so that can help you to better manage. And obviously, there are things that gonna happen throughout your day, throughout your life as a mother, that you cannot plan. And that's why it is important to have a village. And that was our subtitle. It truly takes a village. And I can honestly say, motherhood takes a village. So my sister and I have two children. My sister have two children, and then sometimes it looks like we have four, because on some days I have her kids, on some days she has my kids. And so think about who are those people that you can depend on, and not only you can depend on, but they can depend on you, because it has to be a fair, I don't want to call it a fair exchange, because it sounds like a business transaction, but then it has to be a generous relationship where both of us are helping each other, because when things come up, we are there for one. I'm there for her, and when things come up, she's there for me. And then so it's important to identify key people that not only that is family, but people that you can trust. You can trust with your children. Obviously, you can trust with your life. And then so obviously identify those people, and then have that relationship, have that bond where we can each depend on one another to help us, because we all need help. So that's two quick information I want to share. But obviously we need resources. Okay. Sometime we need, like I said, we need a minute to think to ourselves, but sometimes we may need to speak with a health professional. And to those of us who may not be working, may not have like good insurance that can help us with seeking mental health professionals. So I'm gonna uh, share a quick resource for you all. And I'm not endorsing those companies, it's just resources that I've researched and I see. And then so definitely do your due diligence before you get in contact with those companies, because seeking a licensed therapist can be costly. And then a lot of us, we don't seek mental health because of the price. And so there is a company that makes, it's a non-for-profit as a matter of fact, that makes seeking mental health professional affordable. And then the name of it, let me get it for you, I'm gonna share it with you all. I love sharing so you can see. It's called Open Path Collective. So what Open Path Collective does, it's like a directory of therapists that you and I we can access, but then that is affordable. And obviously affordable means different thing to different people. And then so that's why you will do your own research. You're gonna see what's available to you. And I'm sure you can always contact them to see what else you can take advantage of. So it's right here. It's called Open Path Collective. And then so the website is openpathcollective.org. So you can find therapists. Not only you can be in person, but it also can be virtual. And then so obviously we home, we have a lot to manage. Maybe we don't have time to go into the office, to go beat traffic. So we want to have virtual professional that who we can speak to. So this is the website openpathcollective.org, and you can see it's a very diverse group of people. Sometimes it helps to speak with people who may have similar life experiences, who may be able to understand us. And then so it says it right here is that all non-for-profits serve clients who lack health insurance or whose health insurance doesn't provide adequate mental health benefits. And then so instead of the typical $80 to $200 sessions, you can find more affordable prices. So that's a resources that it says right there between $20 and $80 for couple and family session, $30 to $60. I mean, maybe it's affordable for you, maybe it's not, but then I'm sure you can always reach out and see what they can do if that's a resources that you want to take advantage of. And maybe some of us who have maybe go to a different culture, we may not believe in therapy or maybe have different, I guess, not trusting it. So before we make any judgment, let's at least give it a try. At least give it a try. Everybody needs somebody to talk to sometime, and sometimes that person may not be your best friend, because sometimes you want somebody who can give you the objective opinion, or who can listen to you, and who can utilize the training that they have to help you. And then so if that's a resource that you think you can take advantage of, I'll put the link. It's openpathcollective.org. Okay, so that's my first resource for you all. The second resource I want to share is, obviously a lot of us um, had to leave the workforce because of everything that happened with COVID. So some of us may don't have daycare to leave our children. We had to leave our work. So that means that maybe the amount of money that we used to make, we no longer have access to it. And so we may need a little help. And therefore, in there is no shame in getting help. And there's a lot of help available. We just have to do our research. So with that being said, some of you may know of Feeding America. Um, Obviously your local food banks, if you need a little access to supplement your food. So you can go to your local food banks, but if not, then you can always go to feedingamerica.org, where you'll be able to see different location places kind of that are near you, that you can access if you are in need of supplementing your current food budget. So I'm gonna stop this one right here. I would love to know. I see a shock face. I would love to see if you can elaborate why you're shocked. So I mean, let me share my screen real quick. The website is feedingamerica.org, where you are able to see all the different community resources to be able to supplement your food budget. So it's here right now. Again, feedingamerica.org. And you can just go to the main page, put your zip code, I'm sure, and you'll be able to see those resources. So last but not least, so I'm just gonna quickly go there for you. So as mom, we know one of the biggest, I guess, part of our budget for those of who may have little children is diapers. And honestly, I did not know about diaper banks. Did you know about diaper banks, Daphnée Camilien? You muted. So,
no, I didn't. I was gonna say no, I didn't.
and I'm like, nobody told me about diaper banks. Y'all, let me save you some money. There's diaper banks. So if you wanna make your dollar work for you or stretch it, there is a website that's called National Diaper Bank. I'm just gonna make sure network. It's right here. National Diaper Bank Network. That's gonna help you, if that's a need that you have. So I'm sure they work with different non-for-profits and different maybe churches. I don't know. I know one woman who has a church. She's a pastor. She has that program, and that's how I became to know about diaper banks. And then so definitely take advantage of those resources. There is no shame to seeking help. So us as mom, I know we try to do everything that we can for our children, for our family. But then we can understand that you did not plan COVID. Nobody could have, predict COVID was gonna happen. Nobody was could have thought about how maybe you're gonna have to stay home to take care of your children. Maybe you have to be out of the workforce, and now it can be harder for you to find employment. So there are resources out there, so don't feel bad. uh, Take advantage of your morning time, plan your day, find out who are your village people, connect with them, help each other. Don't let it be a one-sided relationship where you always seeking help but never helping, because all of us need help. um these are some food resources, diaper resources, and mental health resources that we can take advantage of that are affordable. So obviously, if I see anything else, I'll be more than happy to share that, and I'll put those website and the comment as well. But I would love to know if you are watching this and you know of a different resource that you think it's gonna be helpful to moms, go ahead and share that as well. So thank you again for watching. So renters assistance, Attorney Camillian just pointed that out. I know different states have renters assistant in different community. I know the Rogers Park Community Development Corporation. They help homeowners, but not only first time homeowners with fighting being able to purchase a home, kind of knowing the knowledge and the resources. And we are in Chicago. So Rogers Park Community Council is in Chicago. But then if you're in a different state and you're watching right now, I'm sure there are different resources that can help you as well, whether you are a homeowner or whether you are renting. You can first do a Google search, reach out to your alderman or alderwoman. They'll be more than happy to connect you with those resources. So thank you for pointing that out, Daphnée. Anything
Oh,
you want to add?
yeah, I was gonna add two things. There was a couple renters assistance programs, one for the Chicago, one for the state of Illinois. Some of them have ended, but I found out that there was a rental assistance program that just reopened on Monday. So this is a time when a lot of people, as you stated, were out because of COVID or had to give up jobs because they had childcare. So they may be facing eviction. There may have had some issues paying rent, etc. So I would tell everyone to call 311 if you're in the city of Chicago, and see if they're eligible and what they need to do for the new renter assistance program that just opened up. The other thing is, you made an excellent point. No matter where you're at, I'm finding more and more there's more programs out there. So if you're even in the suburbs, your suburb probably has a program. If you're in a different part of Humboldt Park or Pilsen or Calumet City or wherever you're at, and I'm naming neighborhoods in Chicagoland area. If you're in that area, look for overall Chicago, but also look if your actual neighborhood has a program.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for adding that. Appreciate it. So yes, go out, get those help, take care of yourself, because the only way you can take care of your family is by first taking care of yourself. So that's why we wanted to share this evening. We wanted to encourage you. letting you know that if your kids are alive, you're doing a good job. don't don't feel bad. Take some of the pressure out. Just tell yourself you're doing a good job because you are, and because all of us are trying to do the best that we can. Smile. It's gonna be okay. This has been Live in Conversation with Daphnée Winnie Antoine and attorney Daphnée Camilien. We are gonna be to sign out, but before we do, I'm just gonna allow Camilien to say anything she wants to share as we are closing out.
I did want to add, because I had like a brain freeze earlier when I was talking about DACA.
Yes.
DACA stands for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. So Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. Those are the kids who came here, the people who came here when they were young, who are undocumented. I just couldn't remember for the life of me.
There's so many of those initials for us to remember, though.
Yes.
Especially dealing with immigration, even different. Anyway, thank you for sharing that different action for childhood arrivals. So let's be kind to one another, and I'm not trying to steal Ellen's slogan. Just saying again, I'm not trying to be kind. It's not my thing. I'm just telling you all to be kind. Moms need it, and it especially. I think I'm going on a rant right now. I'm trying not to. Don't give people unsolicited advice, telling them how they should do it with their children and how they should not do it with their children. No, let's not do that, people. Because at the end of the day, moms are trying to do the best that they can. If they ask you for advice, you go ahead. But if not, I don't know. That's my little rant. We go.
It's a really sensitive topic, right? Because there's so much pressure, and then if someone criticizes you, or
just personal, it just hurts. I'm trying to do the best that I can,
right?
Just cut me some slack.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. Let's cut mom some slack now. There's a lot going on. Take advantage of those resources, and we will be back next Wednesday at 8:30 with Live and Conversation. Share this live, share those resources with other moms. Even when I say moms, caregivers, parents, anybody you think that may be able to take advantage of those resources. And if you know of anything else, put it in the comment so that we can, help one another. Anything, Daphnée Camilien?
Nope, that's it.
Awesome. See you all next Wednesday. This has been Live and Conversation. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.
Bye.